All right. All right. I'm gonna do a retro review since it's Halloween season. Um, and it says NXT put on Halloween Havoc special this past Wednesday, which beat AEW in the ratings. Sorry, AEW fans, I didn't want. It's true. It's true. That it's very rare. It was a good show. It was almost like a takeover. I'm sorry. Okay, but this review is gonna be Halloween Havoc 1998. Yes, Halloween Havoc 1998. Back in the turf war between the Wolfpack, NW Wolfpack, NW Black and White, Goldberg's reign of dominance as WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Bret Hart mixing the feud with Wolfpack Sting. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Best friends, not enemies at this time, going at it. This is where Scott Hall has been drinking a lot and it's been playing out on TV. LWO was around this time with Eddie Guerrero and basically the whole cruiserweight division. And this time is he wants Rey Mysterio's in the LWO, but Rey Mysterio doesn't want to be in it, but he was forced to be in it. Eddie Guerrero wants Hoover 2 to be the star of LWO because Guerrero couldn't wrestle much. So okay, let's get through this. I'm not gonna show you every match pictures, but I'm gonna go through them. So the first match is the United WWE TV Championship match between Raven. At this point, the Flock was dead. The Flock dispensed, right? The Raven's Flock. So he was alone, taking on the television champion Chris Jericho. And you know what happens to Chris Jericho later in his career? Becomes a heavyweight champion both WWE and AEW. Becomes a huge star. He was really a good star in WCW. He was the way he talked, the way he was able to act. Thousands for Jericho's list that Uncensored pay-per-view was naming off every cruiserweight that was involved in that battle royal. His temper tantrums in that match, in his match when he loses. He was a cruiserweight champion. Him trying to build a feud with Goldberg. He was a cruiserweight champion. Then he took a step. He kind of graduated to another step to becoming not a head per se heavyweight, but more of a television type United States type division. So this is where Raven challenged him for the United States title match. Not a United States television title. It's a very solid match. This is when Jericho won. This is when Raven started to go on that path where Cannon kind of was on it as well. But and later on Cannon became his ally. And, Raven was always at his mansion with his mother's sister. That's later on. And Cannon thinks, you're always depressed, but Raven's witch and stuff. He's like, well, why is there to be depressed about? That was after this. So Raven won with the United States. With Raven lost. Sorry, Jericho won. Just adding to the losing of Raven. Next match we have two monsters. Meng, formerly of Haku, monster, huge, and Wrath, who was tall, massive. He used to be Adam Bomb, and he used to be part of Wrath and Mortis. Remember that with Father James Mitchell? Yeah, but this time he was on his own. He won. He defeated Meng, which is at the time Meng was he was almost there. But he was a little bit a level down below. But he was a monster. Ming. He had a tag team with Barbarians, managed by Jimmy Hart. But he lost to Wrath. And Brian Clark became with Chronic with Brian Adams. Later on in WCW, at the time when WCW wasn't very good. And this part WCW was very, very good. But when he became part of Chronic, it was even worse. So Wrath won with the meltdown. Wrath was kind of guy who was getting a huge push too, man. You could have seen him in World Heavyweight picture, but he was always, I guess because of politics, he was never gonna get there. That was the problem WCW had a lot of politics involved. It's one of the reasons the company didn't kind of folded, and it was bought by WWE. All right, so next there was an interview, right? Scott Steiner and Big Show, or the Giant, defend the tag team titles against Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell. This is the time when Buff Bagwell was kind of not on the deal, but he really was. He was playing Rick Steiner at this time, but by this time they weren't. So they were going to put the tag team titles on the line against Buff Bagwell and Rick Steiner, Halloween Havoc. Rick Steiner was in the mixed feud with his brother. Remember, his brother turned on him, joined the NWO. It's I think it sold out or one of the early pay-per-views in January or February, and he dyed his hair all blonde, became Big Papa Pump, and he was joined the NWO. So with that, we have a match between Disco Inferno and whoever wins gets to face Billy Kidman later on for the Cruiserweight title. And most of the time, Disco Inferno was at that time where he was not available for the Cruiserweight division because he was past the weight limit, but he did all his cardio, whatever, to lose weight, and he managed to reach the weight limit of the Cruiserweight level, and he was allowed to challenge Juventud, which he won. He beat Juventud. And got challenged Kidman for the Cruiserweight title. And Kidman was the Cruiserweight champion at the time. He left the flock. He was a hell of a wrestler too. I'll tell you that. He left the flock, right? Earlier. So, okay. So, I'm going to go to that match. Disco Inferno and Kidman had the match. Kidman won. Obviously, because they were never going to put the title on. Disco Inferno. Okay. Now, we get to the tag team title match. We have Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell versus Scott Steiner and the Big Show. Remember, Buff Bagwell had a serious neck injury in the summertime, wherever. And he didn't think the NWO did a good job. Because then he blamed the NWO, but it was really all a ruse later on. So actually, Rick Steiner, if they win, Rick Steiner gets a match with Scott Steiner later on. So what happened was Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell actually won the match against Big Show and Scott Steiner, and became tag team champions. So later on, Rick Steiner gets his match with his brother Scott Steiner. And here's the thing: after Halloween Havoc, obviously Buff Bagwell was not his partner. I'll tell you why. Okay. So let's continue with that. So Rick Steiner defeated Scott Steiner, his brother. But there was a lot of shenanigans involved. This is where Buff Bagwell kind of turned on Rick, and I think he turned on Rick. It was all a plan. To get Rick, to trick Rick. But Rick won. Obviously later on, Rick was tag team champion with Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell never left the NWO. It was all a plan. I couldn't trust Buff Bagwell then, right? So Rick had these bunch of different tag team partners willing to defend the tag team titles. This is after Halloween Havoc. Okay, so Rick won against Scott Steiner, defeated his brother. Okay, now we're going to get to the main matches. There's 4 of them. Bret Hart versus Wolfpack Sting. Nash versus Hall versus Kevin Nash. Hogan versus Warrior. And finally, the main event, DDP versus Goldberg. So let's get to the Sting versus Bret Hart. See, this match, I know a lot of you were probably disappointed. I was probably disappointed. What happened was Sting and Bret Hart, right? Could he trust Bret Hart? Bret Hart was going around was it the phase where, was he with NWO or is he against NWO? Does he hate Hogan? Remember that one match? On Nitro, Sting and Hogan versus Sting and Hart versus Hogan. I forget who his tag team partner was. Apparently Bret Hart got hurt, supposedly. Right? And Sting came back battling Sting was battling Hogan, whatever, and all of a sudden Bret Hart came back and his true colors revealed, turned on Sting. Bret Hart started always respected Sting. See, this is a feud I was looking forward to. Like Bret Hart and Sting. I wish they could have done more with this, but unfortunately Sting was battling injuries at this time. So what happened was, this was for the United States title. What happened was the match was okay for the minutes it got, but the way it ended is because of Sting's injuries. What happened was he went for a Stinger splash on Bret Hart, but I think the top rope was I didn't have the top thing on top. And Bret Hart, and Sting managed to knock himself out, went flat back. He was knocked out. This is Wolfpack Sting, remember? Nobody was happy with Wolfpack Sting at all. So Bret Hart put him in the sharpshooter. Sting was knocked out. He couldn't tap. He was knocked out, giving Bret Hart the win and retaining the United States title. And this is when Sting ran away for a long time. later into 1999, and you can see in the black and white Sting came back. The Crow Sting came back because the Wolfpack was gone by the time Sting came back. Even though the Wolfpack was around for 3 months in '99. What happened was injuries in the Wolfpack happened with Hogan, Hall had his problems. Luger, he was injured. Yeah. So Bret Hart won with a Sting knockout because Sting was injured, so he went away for a while. Next, we're gonna have this outsider versus outsider, Nash and Hall. Remember, Nash formed the Wolfpack because he didn't like things how Hogan was handling the NWO Black and White, so he formed his own group, the Wolfpack. Sting, Luger, Conan. Remember, at one point, Rick Rude and Kurt Hennig were in it, but they turned it back on the Wolfpack and ran to Black and White. Macho Man was in the Wolfpack, but he was hurt. Remember, he had the crutches. He was hurt, so he was off the road. He came back as Starrcade. So this match, you could tell Kevin Nash did not want to do this match. He wasn't into this match, not from in a wrestling perspective, not in real life perspective. Because this is the time of Scott Hall. He was having his alcoholic problems, but it was being played out on TV. And a lot of people now have issue with that. I bet you back then nobody had issues with that because the attitude and the perception has changed in 20 years, right? 20 years later. People have problems with that. People have problems with the Jeff Hardy thing, right? And I didn't have a problem with the Jeff Hardy thing at first, but I kept on going on, and yeah, even to whatever. But back then, this all happened when Nash thought Scott Hall would join the Wolfpack. But Scott Hall turned on Nash and revealed his true colors, being black and white the whole time. He was tag teaming Big Show, Giant, became tag team champions. Remember, Big Show was at the time was awkwardly teaming with Sting, and Big Show joined the NWO Black and White a second time, and he was wanting Sting to join him, but Sting decided to join the Wolfpack. Yeah, it was very weird. So Nash and Hall had their match. What happened was Nash powerbombed Scott Hall, I believe, three times, and Nash didn't pin him at all. He just ran on the win, giving Scott Hall a win by count out. Because Nash wasn't into his match. He just wanted to teach Scott Hall a lesson. It wasn't about winning and losing. He just wanted to teach Scott Hall a lesson, the hard lesson. And what happens in World War III '98? The NWO Black and White turned on Scott Hall, kicking him out. And here's the Bret Hart Sting. And this is I'll get back to that. Nash and Hall. In '98, World War III, NWO Black and White kicks him out. Nash and Hall. Nash powered him three times. Walks out. Scott Hall wins by countout. Now, we'll get to the Hogan versus Warrior match. Now, we all know why Hogan and Warrior were having this match. Because Hogan wanted to get his win back against Ultimate Warrior, or Warrior in WCW. Right? We all know that. He wanted to get his win back from 8 years in 1990, from 1990 back in WrestleMania 6 when Warrior defeated Hogan. So this is basically what Hogan gets the win back. In this match, pathetic, terrible, a waste. What the hell? Oh, he didn't want. The Nitro before Hogan beat up his own cousin. Not a cousin, nephew, Horace Hogan, real life nephew, to a bloody pulp. He says, "Imagine what I would do to my own family, what I would do to the Warrior." Fuck. And then you got the flaming spot which accidentally went off and burst Hogan's eyebrows. Hogan got the win because Horace got involved, hit Warrior with the chair, and Hogan got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Giving Hogan the win against Warrior. Yeah, it was the worst match on the card. Hogan went away for a while. Remember, winning for fake presidency, whatever. This is the worst match. Bad match. And then, even something bad, even more happens. It was the main event time. DDP versus Goldberg. And here's the thing. This match never showed on the pay-per-view. The pay-per-view went off there before this match showed and ended. So the next night on Nitro, they let everybody see this match for free because, oh yeah, the idiocy of whatever, WCW. See, this is where WCW was in a mess. The thing about WCW, there was always a mess creatively and politically. It was the way they went out of business, yeah, Time Warner didn't have no business wanting them. They didn't really want them. The people in charge when Ted Turner sold it, didn't really was not interested in wrestling. But there was a lot of things that factored in the death of WCW. Creatively, politically, not stuff making sense. People having complete control clauses in the contracts. Oh, there's a lot of things, this game not being televised in the pay-per-view and being sold for free. Oh god. So with DDP versus Goldberg, what happened was DDP got the pin at Fall Brawl in the War Games match. So whoever gets the pinner gets the number one contendership match at Halloween Havoc against the champion Goldberg, who was undefeated this time. And this was a good short match. DDP and Diamond Cutter. Obviously Goldberg would get the win here. Jackhammer Spear. Goldberg would retain, and you know what happens a couple months later. He would lose Kevin Nash would win World War Games 3. The battle of the 60-man 3-ring battle royal. Faced Goldberg Starcade, and Nash ended Goldberg's streak with a lot of interference from Scott Hall and Disco Inferno. Batman Bigelow. It was a mess. Overbooking, you could say. And Goldberg lost the title to Nash at Starcade 98. So this pay-per-view, a mess. Like all the WCW was in 90, missing in 98, it was a mess. It was just bad. Some like the Sting and Bret Hart match, I was looking for, like Sting and Bret Hart. It was one of the matches I was looking forward to in WCW. Even Bret Hart said on Fightful, Sean Sapp's interview last week, check it out. Sting and Bret Hart really respected Sting, and even though they had the same finishing move, I wish they could have had a better outcome in that match. I wish Sting's could have gone longer, but since Sting's injury and happened, they couldn't do it. It's sad because I think with the Sting feud, Bret Hart is getting some momentum, but stuff happens. And Bret Hart, WCW was terrible. And this pay-per-view was not good. Hogan versus Warrior. Terrible. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe below if you agree or don't. Thank you.